Hi guys, today it is time for my October/Spooktober wrap-up. So I've had quite the successful month and I'm really happy with what I've read. I read 4 books, 4 graphic novels and 1 play, and I'm just gonna get right into it. So first this month I finished First Position by Melissa Braden and I did a full review on this, so you can check that out. I really enjoyed this book. It is a lesbian romance about 2 girls in a ballet company, and so for me it was really interesting to read about kind of the life of a dancer in a professional company and stuff. I just really enjoyed that aspect of it, but I also thought the romance aspect was very good. Overall, just a highly enjoyable read. The 2 main characters had amazing chemistry, I thought, and I really liked the development of the relationship and just overall the development of the characters. The ending was a bit meh for me. Like, the final ending was nice, but there was happening something in like the last 80 or 90% where I was like, is this really necessary? But other than that, I really loved it and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I finished A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I have to say that I was a little bit underwhelmed with this book. I understand why many people love it and I understand that it is helpful to many people, but for me, honestly, I couldn't really connect with it. I love the illustrations in it, and overall, as I said, I just think it is a really important book, and I definitely think it is a modern classic that should be read. I had a very specific problem with it, that the book has nothing to do with it. It's just a personal thing for me, but I don't want to go into detail because I don't want to say much about the plot of this book, because I went into it not knowing much about it. The only thing that I knew is that, you know, it had illustrations and that it wasn't a horror story or that it was creepy in any way, but that it was rather something that, you know, told a very sad story. Overall, I, as I said, think it is a really just special book, and I think it can be helpful for many people. It was just really hard for me to read, so I couldn't give it more than 3 stars because I personally didn't enjoy it that much. It reminded me of something that I went through, a very different thing, but it reminded me of that. That just made me feel horrible and I really didn't want to read about it. To people who have read it, it would probably make sense. I thought it had a great way of telling the story. I loved the idea and I loved the illustrations, but it's just not something I think I will ever in my life pick up again, because I just really don't want to be reminded of things like that. I don't know if it makes sense when I say I still think everyone should read this. Then I read Timekeeper by Tara Sim. I absolutely love this book. I honestly don't know where to begin with telling you how much I love this. I fell in love with the world building and the overall kind of just structure of the world and the story. I fell in love with some of the characters for different reasons. I really like the different relationships in the story. It is a lot about friendship, about love, about family. I honestly don't understand how there were so many things packed into this one simple, or not simple, but easy to understand story. I loved it. It is one of my favorite reads of 2016. I gave The Timekeeper 5 out of 5 stars. Then I've read the play, and that was King Lear by William Shakespeare. This is another play that I've read just because I'm doing a monologue out of it and I want to read the whole thing to know what's going on. But honestly, I know this sounds like maybe I'm just trying to belittle myself, but honestly, I'm just too fucking dumb for Shakespeare. I just don't understand half of the story while I'm reading it. And I mean, I read these in German and I still don't understand a thing. So this is too high for me. I kind of overall thought it was an interesting story, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. But I'm gonna continue reading Shakespeare plays until the day that I die. Or until I'm finished with all of them. So then the Spooktober started and I was actually more successful than I thought I would be. I was at my parents' place when the read-a-thon happened, so I was spending most of my time just on the internet. That's just always what I do. I rarely read when I'm there. I just want to use the fast internet and just kind of binge on YouTube and on TV shows and on movies. But I still managed to read a bit thanks to graphic novels, and it's actually something that I wasn't thinking I would do in this read-a-thon, but then it just kind of happened. And so the first graphic novel that I finished was Through the Woods by Emily Carrell, and I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. There were some really creepy and disturbing stories in this. Yeah, I would really recommend this if you're looking for a creepy graphic novel. Then I've read Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, and this has been on my wish list for so long. I think this was the first graphic novel that I ever considered reading in any way. It was a lot darker and sadder than I had actually expected. It was still really funny, and there was some really great friendship in this. I overall think it's really great for fans of villains, but you should kind of enjoy the kind of quirky side of villains. It does kind of get really serious, but also the art is kind of more quirky, and so it doesn't seem as serious as it would, for example, in Game of Thrones. There are definitely scenes where just people die in a kind of gruesome way, but since the art is so funny, it doesn't seem as crazy as it actually is. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. As I said, definitely think it took a way darker turn than I would have thought, but that is one of the things that I definitely really enjoyed about it. But also the humor in this was amazing. Then I've read Giant Days Volume 1 and 2 by, I need to read these names, John Ellison, Lisa Tryman, and Whitney Koger. Holy crap, I absolutely love these graphic novels. I am so in love with the characters. I love the art style. I love the very simple story, just the humor and the realness of these stories. I gave the first one 5 stars and the second one 4 stars. I mean, I really love both, but kind of just the first one blew me away because I wasn't expecting to love this simple story as much as I did. All these different kinds of characters. I think there is a character that everyone can relate to in this. I cannot wait to continue. I'm so in love. Yes. And then I've read Camilla by Joseph Feridan Le Fanu or something. I actually only wanted to read this because of the Camilla web series. Season 3 was so freaking amazing. Yes. Please, oh my god, if you have not checked out this series, it is so amazing and I just absolutely loved it. The diversity in this is just so good. But I've read the book, which is definitely very different from the web series, but I still really enjoyed it for what it was. It is a story about a vampire released even before Dracula, so that alone is just crazy to me. And then it is a female vampire. The victim is female as well. And that just kind of blows my mind. Today this wouldn't be anything special, so that's why I also only gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars, because it was not like, oh my god, I enjoyed it so much, and wow, the twist, she's a vampire, woo! I knew all of this, but I just kind of could appreciate it for what it was. I could appreciate that it was so important for every single vampire novel that came after this. And I'm just in awe of this story. While it was maybe kind of boring, seemed so modern. I'm definitely glad I read it. Like, I'm not a big classics fan overall, but with this one I could really appreciate it. This book gave us the gift that is the Camilla web series. So honestly, what else do I want? And these are all of the books that I finished in October, but I just want to quickly go through the challenges of Spooktober, because I was actually able to complete a lot more of these than I thought for only like reading 4 graphic novels and 1 like tiny novel. I was just able to double up on a lot of challenges. So I left out the first challenge, which was to read a group book. The second challenge was to read a book featuring a Halloween creature, which was obviously Camilla because there is a vampire in it. Then we have the third one, which is fall colors on the cover, for which I've just counted Giant Days because it has yellow and red. Then we have number 4, a book written by an iconic horror author, which my personal opinion is that Joseph Feridan Le Fanu, I don't know how to say the name, is an iconic horror author. Maybe it's not a name that many people have heard. Without this book, it would just not be the same. Like, the whole vampire genre wouldn't be the same probably. So I do kind of consider that challenge completed in a cheaty way. Number 5, a scary book and a movie adaptation, for which I've also counted Camilla because I, watched so many episodes that it probably was movie length. The 6th challenge was to read a spooky graphic novel, for which I've read Through the Woods. And then the 7th challenge was to read a book with a creepy setting, for which honestly kind of Camilla or Through the Woods could both kind of count. Also, I started reading Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson, I think is the author's name. That definitely has a creepy setting. It's kind of like 50 First Dates, but just in a kind of creepy way. But I'm only like 100 pages into it, but I definitely enjoy it so far. But yeah, I've actually did a lot better than I thought I would. I mean, I didn't read much, but I kind of completed all of the challenges, so that's cool, I guess. Definitely let me know how your October went. I personally feel super happy and satisfied with what I've read. I've read some really cool things, and I finally started reading graphic novels. Now I'm addicted, which kind of sucks. I don't want to be addicted to graphic novels, but well, here we are. Thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon.